and it's not a cash register where you press $20 and it tells you the amount. So,
Absolutely.
So it was a learning process.
When you count change back today, do you still do that?
Absolutely.
I think it's the best way.
It's the way to do it.
It's a lost art.
It is a lost art, but I learned it in a gas station a long time ago. But yeah, it's great.
Welcome to the official podcast of Foodies of Lafayette, where flavor meets community. A huge thank you to our Chef's Table sponsor, Logic Refrigeration and HVAC. Reach out to Seth, 337-242-1000. Let's join our hosts, Heidi McDonald and Jason Stoner.
Hey y'all, Heidi McDonald, Foodies of Lafayette, coming to you today from the beautiful Sunday Soda Fountain in downtown. I'm here with my partner in crime, Jason Stoner. We've got with us today two legends. I'm sure you recognize them. We've got Jason Redmond here. We've got Mr. Jimmy Guidry. We're going to get into some really interesting stuff. Before we do that, though, I do want to say a quick thank you. Thank you so much to our partners, our sponsors, more partners. Sundays for always having us here. It's beautiful, and we love it. Thank you so much, Ounce of Hope. Thank you, Logic, Refrigeration, HVAC, Cajun Table, and, of course, Parish Inc. Loving the new shirts. Y'all go check them out. Hey, let's get into it. Guys, y'all have been around Lafayette for quite a while. Y'all have had your hands in a couple of different things. Mm-hmm. What was the first thing? Where did it start really?
Well, with me, my mom owned the Dairy Queen in Opelousas when I was a kid, and I was raised in the Dairy Queen business. Came here to school, started bartending, Uncle Pete's. I bartended my way through college. After I graduated, my mother was very happy that I became a waiter and, pursued my professional career. And then after about a year, at the age of 23, I went into the bar business, and that's a whole nother story.
So let's go back to the Dairy Queen. Every small town had a Dairy Queen, and still does, or a lot of them still do. So what was that like? How old were you when you really kind of were?
Well, we all had a job.
Okay.
So, at 10, my job was picking the trash up in the parking lot. And so in February, when it's raining and you're picking up a soggy ice cream, you become very humble. And it was and I learned a lot. I learned customer service. I learned hospitality. I learned how to count, because then when you gave change, you had to be able to give them change counting backwards. Mm-hmm. And it's not a cash register where you press $20 and it tells you the amount. So,
Absolutely.
So it was a learning process.
When you count change back today, do you still do that?
Absolutely.
I think it's the best way.
It's the way to do it.
It's a lost art.
It is a lost art, but I learned it in a gas station a long time ago. But yeah, it's great. So that kind of set you up in the food business, really.
So I fell into the bar business and just through bartending and getting the job and working my way through school. And I enjoyed the bar business probably way too much. And then it became a way of life. And so I kind of segmented from bartending to opening my first bar at 23.
Mm-hmm. And which one was that?
That was a Brass Rail on the Strip.
Okay.
So I had the Brass Rail on the Strip. Subsequently, we opened up Mother's Mantle on the Strip, which was catty corner from it. And then I opened up a Brass Rail in Baton Rouge, a Mother's Mantle in Baton Rouge. We had Antlers right down the street, which is where Vestal is now.
Yes.
So you opened Antlers?
No.
Oh.
We converted Antlers. Antlers at that time was a billiard hall bookie joint.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And so we converted it from that to food and live entertainment.
Oh, wow.
So both Mother's Mantles did live entertainment 6 days a week. Antlers did live entertainment 3 days a week. And then we had a 1,200-seat honky-tonk on the Burbridge Highway that was called Boo Boo's Nightclub. And it was a rocking joint.
You were in the nightclub business for sure.
And, I was.
And in the 70s.
And this was in the 70s. This was.
So did you enjoy alcohol, cocktails?
Do I or did I?
Do you or did you? Yeah. Both. Yeah.
So it was I was a kid in a candy store.
Oh my goodness,
Sure.
I bet.
So it was the Wild West.
That's why I don't own a bar.
Yeah.
I'm smart enough to know.
All right, so was it the nightlife that led you to wanting really good breakfast food? How do we end up with a diner from?
Well, there was a 15-year career in between.
Oh,
That
okay.
when I got out of the bar business in the early '80s, I went to work for a Mexican chain, and I was hired as a GM. I became a district manager, regional manager, and then I worked in the corporate office. And I had 400 employees, 40 managers, and
What chain?
it was called Cuco's, a Mexican chain.
Cuco's.
Kind of interesting story, but maybe for another segue. But I ended up realizing that I wanted to end up back in Lafayette again, and
It's a great place.
it was a great place, and that's where I wanted to end up living. Because if I would have stayed in my career, I would have had to move to either Atlanta or Dallas, and I didn't want to do either one. And then I called Charlie Goodson and asked him if he knew of any restaurants that were for sale in town. And he said, I don't think it's for sale, but maybe you could check with George Graham, who was the owner at Hub City Diner at that time. And so I called George, and we had brief chats for a couple days, and then we struck a deal.
And so, Charlie, the original restaurant was Stansberry's Cafe in 1965, it looks like.
So from 65 to 90, it was Stansberry's Cafe. And then in 90, Charlie Goodson, Chef Pat Mould, and George Graham converted it to Hub City Diner. And then subsequently, Charlie got out, the chef got out, and I bought it from George in its 8th year of operation.
Oh, wow.
So in August of 98.
But y'all were all buddies, even in the bar business.
Oh yeah, all of us were buddies back then.
Yeah.
Lafayette is such a small town,
Yeah.
I swear.
Love that. I love that. So you purchased that when?
In August of 98.
In 98. And what did you bring to the table with that? Did you change much? Or did you
I didn't change anything.
Okay.
I've always, if something's successful, you don't want to change anything. So I changed nothing. And the one thing I really didn't change was this guy, because he was there when I bought the restaurant. He had been there for 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 months, and
And you were doing what at that point?
I was hosting.
Okay.
In March of 98, I started. I'm originally from Bunkie. I worked in high school. I worked in McDonald's, and I worked at Subway. And I moved to Lafayette when I was 20 to go to UL. I think it was still USL when I started.
It's amazing how many come for that.
Yeah.
What was your major at that point? I'm guessing not restaurant.
I was not even in school until I moved back. I said, I got to get out of Bunkie. So what I did, I said, I need to get back into school and figure it out. So I told my boss that I was moving. I had known someone from high school that needed a roommate. So it was a good opportunity for me to skedaddle. So I told my boss I was moving to Lafayette, and he said, I know this great place where you need to go apply. And he sent me to Hub City Diner. He knew the general manager of Hub City Diner at the time, named Danny Fontenot. So I interviewed, I got the job, and so I started hosting there, and I ended up, and I was doing admin work, doing deposits and that kind of stuff, because I'd already done those things previously, my other jobs. So, and then I started going to school as, in the fall of 98. So Jimmy inherited me. And I majored in hospitality. I graduated my degrees in hospitality from UL.
So you did kind of have an idea that was the field you wanted to go into?
But I always just naturally fell into that zone. I was the kid. I started at McDonald's, and within a few months I had a little tie. I started cooking the burgers, and before long I could check you out. I could make you shake. And it's always been my nature. It didn't matter, There's a lot of ownership mentality that's kind of just been built into me. And so I just kind of always go to the next step.
I love that you say that. That's something that nobody's really brought up, but it's definitely something that I try to point out when we get new hires in my real job. That work ethic of, okay, I'm here, I need to be doing something. What's the next step? What can I learn next? What can I grow? I love hearing you point that out and say that. Is there anything else that you feel like you learned along the way, particularly from this gentleman here?
Well, I mean, that's like that's a long list. That's
Well,
a
I know
long
we just
list, but
calculated how many meals was it y'all have shared over the years?
25 or 30,000.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of lessons in there, I
Yes.
imagine.
But
Yeah.
it looks like you. Well, one of the common threads that we see with doing these podcasts is you can't teach hospitality necessarily. A person has it or they don't.
Right.
You can teach them how to run a cash register or how to wipe a table, but that part that's instilled in you. You had that probably even without your degree. You had that.
Yes.
But you must have saw something early on in Jason to where you kind of took him under your wing, made him the right-hand man to your operation.
And it was very early on. My first day there
Oh, wow.
was I didn't have keys to the building. My deal with George was that I couldn't talk to any employees. Nobody could know about it. I couldn't go in the restaurant ahead of time. So I had never been in the office. I'd never been in the kitchen.
Oh,
I didn't know who the vendors were. I didn't know the employees. I didn't know the recipes. I knew nothing.
Wait. You
I-
bought this sight unseen, basically?
Well,
I know y'all are buddies, but
I'm
whew, that's brave.
I'm a good operator.
All right.
I felt that I could do a good job. So the first day, I'm in there and I don't have keys. I don't know the alarm code. And this kid walks in the door, and he walks up to the office and he unlocks the door and he goes in. And I'm watching him. He opens the safe, takes the money out, doing the deposit. I said, "What's your name?" And he said, "Jason Redmond." I said, "Oh, good."
And you had no clue he bought?
Nobody,
wow.
Nobody knew.
Oh, wow.
So, and it was very, very early on. Like the first few days, I felt this sense that this kid, he was 3 years old then, but I mean, he was 20, and I felt that he had something with him, and you know, we hit it off pretty quickly. He was doing payroll on a computer in how long?
Very soon.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
like
know,
maybe 2 or 3 months.
it wasn't long.
He was doing the payroll, so
Wow.
and printing it, you
Yeah.
know, and very quickly signing it. So
Yeah, that didn't take long either.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, that does say a lot about hiring the right people. You know, I know you inherited him technically, but clearly somebody knew what they were doing to hire to begin with.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. And it seems to have worked out for quite a while since that evolved into ownership now, huh?
I know, isn't that wild? Going on 4 years,
Yeah,
by the way, which is
that's,
even crazier. But I've said it many times. It's been a very synergistic relationship between us. It's very special because he's not my dad or my uncle, but we've had this very good relationship that's you know, developed into a family, you know,
Sure.
of
A
course.
mentor, for
You know,
sure.
oh, absolutely. And it makes it real special and different because you don't hear of that too often.
Yeah.
Of someone, you know, bringing you under their wings and guiding you, and then to have this transition of, I mean, I've dedicated my life. I've been at Hub City Diner for 27 years, so I've dedicated my life there, and to be able to be seen.
Yes.
You know, is special. Seen by
it is.
someone that's not your dad, you know, just someone that has kind of moved into that kind of role for you in other ways and been able to show you lots of different parts. It's
Yeah.
real special. So I feel very blessed. Now, of course, I know I've put in the time and the dedication and all that stuff, but it just says it's a testament to having a good boss. And to have that kind of opportunity and to be able to step up to the opportunity to swing the bat. So it was a real good
Absolutely.
relationship, and we still have it. He comes every day at 7:30 to have breakfast.
Oh,
So
I love
just
that.
I
just
do
because he's
too.
been retired.
Yeah, I was about
I'm
to
gonna
say,
need a
we
tissue.
need to
I'm
talk
gonna need a
about what
tissue. I'm not
retirement
joking.
is, okay, that's not
Just
quite
because he's
retired.
been retired,
Oh,
he's still
It
stopping
is.
by and checking in and having breakfast,
Well-
and it's good for him and it's good for me.
Yeah.
It really is. So
Oh, I
We are
love
still
that.
going to term you second generation.
Oh,
with that.
definitely.
Yeah.
We're still going to
definitely.
term you second generation because
Yeah,
that is a
it
great
is.
story for sure.
It is.
Well, and it says a lot about the value that you bring as well, and how important it is for an employee to bring value, because that is in fact what he saw, I would imagine.
I think part of it is
Quality.
I probably never thought of Jason as an employee. I don't think, even at the very beginning, I don't think I thought of it as an employee, because he was trusted, and you know, I knew he was trustworthy, and he worked hard, and he was smart, and he was dedicated, and he did whatever it took to get the job done, and that's the signs of a great entrepreneur. And there aren't many around there that want to do the hard work.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it was simple for me. The hardest part was relinquishing, you know, delegating authority, and that was hard for me because I was always, but he was equally as good.
He got your vision. He
Oh, yeah.
totally got your vision.
Well, and it wasn't just my vision; it was our vision. Because I mean, there's a lot of things that he steered me in a different direction with over the years, also, and I need to and I know, and we've talked about this many times, that, you know, it's been the two of us that made this thing work.
Yeah.
It was,
Wow.
it was nice.
So I'm going to go back a little bit and put Jason on the spot. So just give me a couple of things that's been invaluable that you've learned from Jimmy.
Well, the one thing Jimmy told me that he hopes the one thing he told me that he hopes what I've learned the most from him, if I only learn one thing, is to be generous. And that has been a very specific thing he's done through the years, not just to me, but to customers, to other staff. It's just, you know, giving, and it all comes around.
Oh, gosh,
So
yes, absolutely.
Being generous has been a big one. And of course, all of the spreadsheets. He likes spreadsheets. So I've learned a lot of spreadsheets and there's a lot of tabs that are open and lots of spreadsheets. So I've learned a lot of that as well.
So you both love spreadsheets.
The numbers don't lie.
Not chaos.
You know, not chaos.
Well, it seems like everything works out pretty well. And I know, just because of, you know, growing up here and having gone there my entire life, you're not the only employee that has been around for a very long time. Y'all have got quite a few that have been around for years and years.
Yeah, even who we consider new staff, new people are still 5 years in.
Yeah.
You know, we don't.
And they're
really
still
don't-
new because
and-
others have been there for
because
decades.
others have been there for 15 or whatnot.
You know,
So-
That is a testament
It
of,
really
of
is.
how you treat your people.
It
and that
is.
is another common thread. You know, you hear a restaurant struggling with staff, but
We've been fully staffed through the whole thing, all of COVID, pre-COVID, post-COVID, just the whole thing. We've been fully staffed, which is pretty amazing.
you treat them well.
Well,
And they treat you well back.
we
Yeah.
treat them like they should be treated.
Yeah.
You know?
Y'all have got some good managers. Y'all have got some great friendly faces behind the bar. Have there been any employees through the years that have stood out,
Wow.
Oh,
post or current?
there's been many through the years. I mean, or that still come in. You know, even you know, employees that have, even waiters that have waited tables through college and now they're married and they're bringing their kids. There's
I love
there's just
that.
been hundreds.
We
I
have a
love that.
second generation waitress working for us.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So this young lady was a waitress in the very beginning.
In the late 90s, early 2000s.
And now her daughter, who's 20, is a waitress.
while she's going to school. Yeah.
Love
Wow,
that.
that is amazing.
I love that.
You're just doing something right.
You know,
Absolutely.
and you know, we have cooks that have been there over 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, trusted guys that are in the kitchen that have keys, and you know, that we trust them like brothers, and they do a great job for us.
Now, Jason, do you have a Jason?
We do have a manager. His name's Gage, and he's hopefully will keep continuing to grow. He's doing a great job. So I can foresee him continuing to move forward in the same pattern of how Jimmy and I have.
Yeah.
Well, that's
great.
good news. I'm
Yeah.
happy to hear we're going to have
Yeah.
Hub City for quite a while
We
to
should.
come. That's great.
We should.
But you know, it's interesting because I'm looking back at it from a different perspective in his relationship with Gage, and watching how he's massaging Gage and correcting him and guiding him and leading him in the direction that he needs to be going in, and the guy's doing a wonderful job. And it's interesting to see this
Oh, yeah, I
because,
bet.
you know, it's kind of like looking back 25 years.
Oh, I love that. I
That's
love that.
awesome.
But you're visiting the restaurant a couple times a day, sitting down
Once a
and
day.
eating.
Once a day.
Once a day. And you still talk about everything pretty much?
Yeah,
Well, we have a Monday morning meeting,
yeah. We
and
still
it's
visit.
we have a little 30
Okay,
minute.
hold on. You going in every morning and you're still going to the morning meeting?
Well,
We really
the
gotta
morning,
talk about what retirement is.
the morning meeting is over breakfast. You have to understand. So,
Do you at least get a free meal?
yes.
He does do that. That might be why he's coming. It's like a cat.
Oh,
you think
there
that's
we go.
why
That's
he's
part of
there?
the
That might be
retirement
the real
plan. I love
reason.
it. Smart man.
It's good food. You know.
What
so,
time?
Right?
Well, by 7:30, I'm done.
7:30. All right.
So what's your favorite thing on the menu then?
Jimmy Scram. Of course.
Of course. I don't
Egg-
know why I asked.
Egg whites, spinach, tomatoes, feta cheese, and a side of green beans.
All right. That's always been your favorite? Well, you
Evolved
made
through
it.
the
It's evolved.
different,
Yeah, yeah.
different
Okay.
things.
You know.
How about you? What's your favorite?
Well, right now, I'd say I like the club sandwich. It's a go-to. But what I have for breakfast is egg whites and a turkey patty. And
So
some
healthy.
yeah, I'm
Oh
real
my gosh, I
boring.
need to take
I'm not
notes.
eating the pancakes.
Well, we
But
eat
look,
there
I
every day.
Eat there every day. I've got to watch where I'm eating with the pancakes. You know, I got to splurge on that and the beignets.
Oh,
Those
I
are
really need
good.
to take notes. Dr. Chin is so upset with my, with my diet lately.
This is the Karchner's ribs.
Well, I mean, they're addictive. What can I say?
Can't help yourself. The hamburger steak is good. Our hamburger steak is really good and it's very popular.
Oh, it really
And I
is.
like it. And I like our meatloaf a lot. I eat our meatloaf regularly. And I like our catfish, like a catfish salad. We have a blackened catfish salad that I like to eat. So I kind of go around the menu. I peruse it.
Well, there's enough options. You
Yes.
can't get bored, which
There's
is
something
nice.
there's
I
something
imagine.
for everyone.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
There's something for everyone.
Absolutely.
I want to mention our partner, Logic Refrigeration HVAC. Those guys support and our local community fridge project in a big way. They've donated commercial fridges. They maintain our fridges for our community fridge project. But other than that, they specialize in HVAC and refrigeration for restaurants. And so if you own a restaurant and you need a really good company to come in with and help with your refrigeration, HVAC, any other equipment, please reach out to Logic. Seth is a really good guy, and he does a fantastic job. Thank you, Seth, for partnering
Thank you,
with Foodies of
Seth.
Lafayette podcast.
He even does margarita machines.
He does, yes, he does do margarita machines. Thank you, Seth. You rock.
Well, important details. Speaking of important details, coming back to y'all, what would you say is one of the more important details that he's picked up from you over the years?
The attention to detail.
Okay.
Because, when you come to Hub City Diner, you'll never see a light bulb out. You'll never see a fan turned off. You'll never see a fan going in the wrong direction.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We do walkthroughs before we open up, where we go and walk through the bathrooms, flush all the toilets, make sure the sinks are working, go in the kitchen,
Wow.
taste everything that's hot on the line, open up all the refrigerators, check the temperature, check the dating,
Every day.
every day.
Every day.
And I
Wow.
still do it every day.
Okay.
First thing I do when I walk in, I grab a spoon and I go on the line and
He's retired.
He's retired.
but I like tasting the wine.
I feel that. I feel that in my little foodie heart. I would want to taste everything
Yeah.
too.
It's important.
It is.
But another thing that I'm understanding is the sense of community that you built in the restaurant. Within those walls, there's community. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think that's really the success of the diner, and that's why y'all stated about the staff and everyone being so friendly. It's because it is they have been emboldened to give to the customer and have the autonomy to do that. I mean, we tell them we may not have the dollars to spend on lots of advertising as maybe some other businesses can, but what we can do that they may not be able to do is know everybody by name. And so it's important to, the customers are coming to eat, obviously, but they're really coming for nurturement as well.
Oh, absolutely.
They may not realize it, but they are, and we do a good job at that.
Absolutely.
And we try and, we had customers that made a joke about their breakfast, their romantic breakfast date. And the next time I was at Champagne's, actually, I found the cheesiest looking fake flower. And the next Sunday when they came in, we brought that little fake flower out on a little vase at their table.
Oh,
and
my
they got
gosh.
such a kick out of it. That was 2 years ago. And every Sunday they come in, the flower goes out to their table.
Oh my gosh.
The whole staff knows to bring it
And
out.
the whole
I
stuff.
love
So
that
it's
so
not
much.
it's not on me. Everyone, it doesn't matter who
Right.
it is now. It's not
Right.
just something that I'm having to focus on. It might be our waitress Brittany, or it might be the host
Mm-hmm.
that sees them and let me grab the flower. So that's part of the community spirit.
Absolutely.
And of course, then the customers all get to know each other. And we've had plenty of customers that may have been, 3 tables of 2, and now they're 1 table of 6. Because
That is
over time,
great.
and we have a lot of that where they
got
just
to
start
know each
coming in
other.
on
Yeah.
a certain
They-
day
they-
and start talking to each other, and then now get together on that day.
Wow.
Oh, I love
specific.
that.
So yeah, that's to me. I like the business aspect of it, but that's the most rewarding part of being a restaurateur, is being able to be allowed into everyone's lives, because people are giving you permission to be part of their memories and to be part of that growth. And that's very special. And that's how I look at it when I go to work. I'm looking at it more from that perspective. And I think that's how the community has grown at the diner. Not that I'm giving myself all the credit, but just that's the perspective that we operate from, is gratitude for customers to let us be part of their life.
Wow.
I think that y'all have nailed that so well. I'm gonna end up in tears, but my son spent a month in the NICU across the street. And that was a point in time when I couldn't really talk about it. I didn't know how to vocalize what was going on. And I couldn't get out. I was there for 12 hours a day. I didn't want to leave for very long, so I would leave just long enough to run across the street. And when I tell you, every single person that was there was just so warm, and it didn't matter how my mood was, they were very receptive to it. On days when I just couldn't talk, they offered me a hug without me even asking. And on days when I needed to talk, they were there to listen. And I'm telling you, they remembered my order immediately. I mean, it was exactly what I needed as a customer. And that's even not knowing what I needed, not being able to vocalize what I needed at the time. Exactly what you're saying. They were enabled to provide whatever it was, whether it was just a hot meal or whether it was a conversation and a hug. I love that you empower them to build that community. That's so special. It makes it such a special place to be. It's part of what makes Lafayette so special.
One of the interesting things is the whole community engagement thing is not scripted at all. It's been organic, and we've never said this is what we're doing. It's just evolved into that. And it's what the mission is. And
That has to make you feel great.
well, it's proven to work, and it's proven to be it's important for people at many different levels,
It
Yeah.
is.
given
Absolutely.
What,
You're
given history.
focused on what matters, and that matters to other people,
Yeah.
even if you didn't know.
Well, if you let people win, everyone wins. If you let the staff win, you let customers.
Yep.
If you let people win, then it just comes full circle.
Absolutely.
It's part of it.
If you're the couple that gets the flower on the table on Sundays, then reach out in the comments below. Moving forward a little bit, you've got an employee that's somewhat really special in a lot of ways. So Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, he's not only special, but he's famous. And his name is Aaron Christopher Tate. And he has Down syndrome. And he's been with us for 15 years, maybe?
Or longer.
Or longer.
Yeah, because
Aaron.
time is flying.
So he's
it's closer
he's
to
in
20.
he's in his early 30s, and he started coming there with his mom when he was around 10, and so we saw him literally grow up, and probably when he was mainstreamed at Lafayette High, and when he was probably 15 or 16, we told him, we said, you know, you graduate from high school, we'll consider giving you a job, and so in December of the year he was graduating, he came to fill out his application. 5 months ahead of time. So he filled out the application, did a great job. I took him in the back. I interviewed him for 45 minutes. Well, that's a challenge in itself, you know.
Sure.
And so
For anyone.
anyone, yeah. And so I said, you know, this is a very important position. You need to come back tomorrow for a second interview. And so he comes back the second day, and he's in a suit.
Oh my gosh.
Well, first of all, we all burst into tears, you know, because the kid's coming back in a suit, you know. And so
He wants this
He's
job.
he
prepared.
wants a job,
That's
and
it.
and he deserved the job.
Yeah.
And he's been with us ever since, and has just done a great job. And you know, he considers himself to be the boss. He's got his own name tag made that he's the boss, and it's been a wonderful experience, and it's probably been one of the more fulfilling things about working at the diner and being at the diner is, you know, seeing this kid have a mission in his life. I mean, that's his mission is coming to work, and I mean, he's been doing it for a couple of decades, and that's pretty cool.
Well, I'm convinced we all have a place in this world. We don't need more than one of me or more than one of you. I mean, we don't need more than one of you. We don't need more than one of you. We need one of everybody.
Some days I need another
And-
me.
Well, being in two places at once is a whole different story. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure the world couldn't handle another one of me. One is more than enough. But we all should have a place and a purpose and a mission. And I love finding everybody's spot. I love that you've given him a spot and given us as a community a way to be able to appreciate him too.
And
Absolutely.
he'll be there as long as he wants to be there. Absolutely. as
I
long
love
as-
that. Aaron.
Aaron.
Love that.
Yeah, go see Aaron. He's awesome.
So switching gears a little bit, tell us about your mascot. You got a little mascot in there. huh?
He's
Pelvis,
Pelvis.
the infamous pelvis that everybody takes their picture in front of. I'll let Jimmy tell the story because he's the one that kind of had spearheaded the whole thing.
So the ACA, as a fundraiser years ago, did this pelican program in town, and they provided a basic shell of a pelican, no art on it, and then artists were commissioned to create the pelican. And Robert Dafford, the famous mural artist, called me up unsolicited and said, "Hey man, I want to do your pelican, and we're going to call him Pelvis." And then when he said we're going to call him Pelvis, I said, "We're in.
We're in.
No question. I don't need to see a rendering. I don't need to see a drawing.
No details necessary.
Jimmy's fun.
We're in." So then they go through the process. You know, we commission it, and then there's a fundraiser at the ACA where you could donate your bird back to the ACA, and they were going to auction it off. So I donated it back, and then I bought it back again.
Oh wow!
So we, it was
That's awesome.
well, you know, the ACA has been a great part for Lafayette.
It really is.
And,
It really
You know,
is.
it was the least that we could do.
Well, thank you.
And really, you're active in the community in other areas, I notice, with different things that you do. And thank you for being part of such a big part in the community as well. You guys have been honored locally and nationally. What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
Do I have a favorite? I think my favorite is walking in there on Sunday morning and seeing it jam-packed with people smiling. I think that's my favorite.
Awesome.
That is a pretty great award.
That is great.
And not having to work the shift.
And not having to work.
Even better.
But
Getting
you're
a
the
free
taste
breakfast.
Yeah.
You got your spoon.
Oh, yeah, I got my spoon.
Shaking hands
It
and
sounds
kissing
like
babies.
this is a great deal for you. You're doing all the fun things.
Yeah.
Some of them. He's doing a lot of the fun things still.
Well, if there was any lasting lesson that you would like to leave, I know it's been 4 years already, but
Whirlwind, huh?
any lasting lesson that you would leave for him, for the diner, or for anybody that's wanting to get into the restaurant business?
Well, I think if somebody's interested in getting into the restaurant business, they have to understand what hospitality is. And if they can't understand what hospitality is and they don't have the hospitality gene, they're not going to be successful. That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah. That's very common.
Yeah.
Very common.
How about you, Jason? What would you say?
Well, I would say that community matters.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I go through with the restaurant, is just a day-to-day community matters. And if you just keep putting out towards the community, regardless if it's just in the diner or with, we just donated food to, Hospice of Acadiana, or just whatever we're going to do, having Aaron work at the diner. It's all just little parts of the community that make Lafayette as a whole special.
Absolutely. And we love you for that.
We do.
Thank y'all so much. We appreciate
Thanks for
y'all.
having us. This was fun.
So glad to have y'all.
You're our rock stars. Honestly,
Absolutely.
you're our sports figures, our rock stars, our movie stars. That restaurant owners, chefs is really what we live
Our
for.
restaurant royalty.
Yeah, and legends. We're talking to legends.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank
We love what y'all do. We love what you do for the community. And thank you so much for being here.
Well, you bet.
Thank you.
Before we let y'all go, I do want to say a quick extra special thank you to our partners. Want to say thank you to Ounce of Hope. Check them out online. Want to say thank you so much to the Cajun Table. Check them out at the Cajun Table. You can also find them at Nunu's and several other stores around town.
Absolutely.
We want to say special thanks to Chris Logan Productions. Thanks. We love you guys.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for
Chris
keeping
Logan.
us in check. Let's eat.
Let's see.
Make sure to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. And thanks again to our Chef's Table sponsor, Logic Refrigeration and HVAC. You can learn more at getlogicservice.com. If you have a restaurant, commercial business, Seth can take care of you. Give him a call, 337-242-1000. Until next time, let's eat.